And, this is key, every single rational medical explanation has been ruled out. That just leaves the door wide open for something supernatural. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The story immediately sets up this is the real-world mystery right at the heart of what we're looking at. A YouTube video from the channel Shaitani Dastan. The sudden, unexplained death of such a prominent figure in the paranormal community left this huge void, and a story like this one tries to step in and fill that gap.
So, right from the get-go, the story acknowledges the real person, Gaurav Tiwari. It frames him as this dedicated expert who investigated thousands of haunted places. Not just to find ghosts, no, but to actually understand the pain of the spirits themselves.
And this quote, it really gets right to the heart of the whole thing. The video immediately makes it clear, hey, this isn't a news report. We're taking a creative dive into his final mysterious days. It's a classic hook, and honestly, it works.
All right, so let's get into the story itself. It kicks off with something we've probably all seen before, right? An urgent, desperate phone call. And it comes at the worst possible time for our hero, who's already dealing with his own stuff.
So what we have here is a textbook paranormal case. You've got a young girl with all the classic signs of possession. And, this is key, every single rational medical explanation has been ruled out. That just leaves the door wide open for something supernatural. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The story immediately sets up this major internal conflict for Gaurav. On the outside, he's the professional, right? Calm, cool, and collected. But on the inside, he is wrestling with his own demons. Literally. He has his own haunting going on, and it's directly connected to this new case.
And there it is. The story gives us this very specific, very personal threat from his past, and by tying it to Bhangarh Fort, which, if you don't know, is a real, famously haunted spot in India, it adds this layer of real-world spookiness to the whole thing. It makes the danger feel so much bigger.
Okay, so Gaurav and his colleague Manya get to the apartment in Janakpuri. And let me tell you, the story does not waste any time cranking up the tension. Things get weird, fast.
So, the investigation plays out pretty much like you'd expect, hitting all the familiar notes. But it's that last point, that smile of recognition, that's the twist. This isn't just some random spirit. It was waiting for him.
And then the entity speaks, right through the girl, and it confirms his absolute worst fear. This whole case, it was never about saving a possessed girl. It was a trap, set specifically for him. I mean, the stakes just went through the roof.
So when Gaurav asks, who am I talking to? The answer is chilling. He's not just up against one spirit. Nope. He's facing a whole collective, 40 different souls all packed into one body. This just went from a standard ghost hunt to a full-blown supernatural siege.
So all of this is building up to the story's big climax, where the collective of spirits makes him a shocking and really an impossible proposal. And this, right here, this is the central turning point of the whole narrative.
Yeah, it all comes down to this bargain. The story frames it as this ultimate act of heroism, right? To save this innocent girl, our hero has to willingly invite all of that darkness into himself. It's just a powerful, super tragic moment that's meant to define who he is.
And the second he agrees, bam! The story shows us the devastating fallout. The 40 shadows just disappear from the room. Gaurav hits the floor, and his body starts showing the exact same signs of possession the girl had. The deal's done.
Okay, so at this point, you're thinking, all right, I get it. That's how he died. He sacrificed himself, the spirits took him, and that was that. But just when you think you have the answer, the video completely pulls the rug out from under you.
And this single line reveals the video's true purpose. After building this whole incredible story, the narrator just flat out tells us that this event was not the cause of his death. It's not an ending, it's a setup.
So instead of giving us closure, the video just doubles down on the mystery. It leaves you hanging with this whole list of unanswered questions, promising that the real story, the real cause of his struggle and his death, well, you'll have to wait for the next part to find out.
I mean, this is a masterclass in using a cliffhanger, right? By solving one mystery only to reveal an even bigger one, it basically guarantees that viewers are going to feel compelled to come back for the sequel. The story is left wide open, completely on purpose.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's really about how a narrative like Shaitani Dastan can step in and provide this compelling, supernatural story to fill the void left by a real, unexplained tragedy.
It uses the framework of a hero's sacrifice to pull you in, only to pivot to an even deeper mystery. It perfectly illustrates our need for answers and how, in their absence, we create stories, leaving us to ponder that very blurry line